Have you ever felt like your life is spiraling out of control? Like you're constantly battling against your own impulses, unable to stick to your goals or resist temptation? You're not alone. The struggle for willpower and self-control is universal, but what if I told you there are hidden strategies to dramatically boost your mental strength? Today, we're uncovering the lesser-known secrets to mastering your mind and reclaiming control of your life. Welcome to Unlocking Your Inner Titan, the surprising science of willpower. I'm your name, and we're about to embark on a journey that will transform how you view self-control. First, let's shatter a common myth. Willpower isn't a finite resource that depletes over time. Recent studies have debunked the idea of ego depletion. Instead, willpower functions more like a muscle that can be trained and strengthened. But here's the kicker: it's not about gritting your teeth and powering through. The key lies in understanding the intricate dance between your conscious mind and subconscious impulses. Consider this: every decision you make triggers a neurochemical cascade in your brain. When you exercise self-control, you're essentially rewiring your neural pathways. But here's where it gets interesting. This rewiring process is heavily influenced by your belief systems. Research from Stanford University found that people who viewed willpower as a limitless resource consistently outperformed those who believed it was finite. This growth mindset approach to willpower can be a game changer. But how do we cultivate this mindset? It starts with recognizing the power of micro-decisions. Every time you make a choice aligned with your long-term goals, you're not just affecting the present moment, you're shaping your future self. These micro-decisions compound over time, creating what psychologists call identity-based habits. Here's a practical exercise for the next week. Consciously make one small decision each day that aligns with your ideal self. It could be as simple as choosing a healthy snack over junk food, or reading a page of a book instead of scrolling social media. The key is consistency, not intensity. This process gradually shifts your self-perception, making it easier to make bigger, more impactful choices down the line. Now, let's talk about the role of your environment in shaping willpower. Your surroundings have a profound, often subconscious impact on your decision-making. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people were more likely to indulge in unhealthy snacks when their kitchen was disorganized. This phenomenon, known as cognitive load, suggests that chaos in your external environment can deplete your mental resources, making it harder to exercise self-control. The solution: create what I call willpower sanctuaries, spaces in your life deliberately designed to minimize decision fatigue and maximize focus. This could be a clutter-free workspace, a designated area for meditation, or even a specific playlist that signals to your brain it's time to concentrate. By curating your environment, you're essentially outsourcing some of the cognitive work required for self-control. But what about those moments when temptation seems overwhelming? This is where the concept of pre-commitment comes into play. Pre-commitment involves making decisions in advance to limit your future options. It's a powerful tool used by everyone from recovering addicts to successful entrepreneurs. Here's a less-known technique. Create what psychologists call implementation intentions. These are specific if-then plans that link situational cues with goal-directed responses. For example, if I feel the urge to procrastinate, then I will work on my task for just 5 minutes. This strategy bypasses the need for in-the-moment willpower by creating an automatic response to potential pitfalls. Now, let's delve into the fascinating world of neuroplasticity and its role in strengthening willpower. Every time you resist a temptation or stick to a difficult task, you're not just exercising self-control, you're physically changing your brain. Neuroimaging studies have shown that consistent self-control practices can increase the density of neural connections in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for executive functions. But here's the twist: traditional approaches to building willpower often focus on suppressing desires. However, new research suggests that acceptance and mindfulness techniques might be more effective. Instead of fighting against your impulses, try acknowledging them without judgment. This approach, rooted in Eastern philosophy and supported by modern neuroscience, can reduce the cognitive load associated with constant self-control efforts. Let's explore a practical application of this concept. The next time you feel a strong urge to break your diet, procrastinate, or indulge in any behavior you're trying to change, try this: close your eyes, take a deep breath, and simply observe the urge. Don't try to push it away or judge yourself for having it. Just notice where you feel it in your body, what thoughts arise, and how the sensation changes over time. This practice, known as urge surfing, can help you ride out temptations without giving in to them. Now, let's talk about the power of social influence on willpower. We often underestimate how much our social circles impact our ability to maintain self-control. A groundbreaking study from the New England Journal of Medicine found that obesity spreads through social networks. If your friend becomes obese, your chances of becoming obese increase by 57%. This principle applies to other behaviors as well, both positive and negative. Here's a strategy that leverages this phenomenon: create a willpower tribe. This is a group of individuals committed to similar goals or values. By surrounding yourself with people who exercise strong self-control, you're not only gaining support but also subconsciously adopting their habits. The key is to make this tribe an active part of your life. Regular check-ins, shared challenges, and mutual accountability can dramatically boost your own willpower. But what if you find yourself in an environment that's not conducive to your goals? This is where the concept of temptation bundling comes in. Developed by behavioral economist Catherine Milkman, this strategy involves linking an activity you struggle with to one you enjoy. For instance, only allowing yourself to watch your favorite TV show while exercising. This creates a positive association with the challenging task, making it easier to overcome initial resistance. Let's dive deeper into the psychological mechanisms at play here. When you bundle a want activity with a should activity, you're essentially hijacking your brain's reward system. Now, let's address a crucial aspect of willpower that's often overlooked: the role of physical health. Your body and mind are intricately connected, and neglecting your physical well-being can severely impact your ability to exercise self-control. Sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, and lack of exercise can all deplete your willpower reserves. Here's a lesser-known fact: even mild dehydration can significantly impair cognitive function, including self-control. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that a mere 1 to 2% decrease in body water content can lead to decreased concentration, alertness, and short-term memory. The takeaway: sometimes, boosting your willpower might be as simple as drinking a glass of water. But let's go beyond the basics. Emerging research in the field of chronobiology suggests that our willpower fluctuates throughout the day based on our circadian rhythms. Most people experience a willpower peak in the morning, a dip in the early afternoon, and another peak in the early evening. Understanding your personal willpower rhythm can help you schedule challenging tasks when your self-control is naturally at its strongest. Here's a practical exercise to discover your willpower rhythm for a week. Rate your energy, focus, and self-control on a scale of 1 to 10 every hour you're awake. Look for patterns in your data and adjust your schedule accordingly. You might be surprised to find that certain times of day are much more conducive to tackling willpower-intensive tasks. Now, let's explore a controversial but potentially game-changing approach to willpower: strategic indulgence. Traditional wisdom often advocates for strict adherence to goals, viewing any deviation as a failure. However, research in the field of self-regulation suggests that planned breaks from self-control can actually enhance long-term willpower. This concept, known as intermittent reinforcement, works by preventing willpower fatigue and reducing the psychological pressure of constant self-denial. The key is to make these indulgences planned and intentional, rather than impulsive. For example, if you're on a strict diet, scheduling a weekly cheat meal can actually make it easier to stick to your plan the rest of the time. But here's the caveat: the effectiveness of this strategy depends heavily on your mindset. If you view these planned indulgences as failures or giving in, you risk undermining your long-term goals. Instead, reframe them as strategic decisions that support your overall willpower. This shift in perspective can transform moments of indulgence from sources of guilt into tools for sustainable self-control. As we near the end of our journey, let's address a fundamental question: what is willpower ultimately for? Too often, we view self-control as an end in itself, rather than a means to a more fulfilling life. This misunderstanding can lead to burnout and a sense of constant struggle. Instead, try this perspective shift. View willpower as a tool for aligning your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. When you connect your day-to-day choices to a larger purpose, you tap into a wellspring of motivation that goes beyond sheer force of will. Here's a powerful exercise to put this into practice. Take a few moments to visualize your ideal future self in vivid detail. What are you doing? How do you feel? What impact are you having on the world around you? Now, working backward, identify the daily choices and habits that would lead to that future. This creates a direct link between your present actions and your long-term vision, and fusing even small acts of self-control with profound meaning. In conclusion, mastering willpower and self-control is not about becoming a paragon of discipline or denying yourself pleasure. It's about understanding the complex interplay of your mind, body, and environment, and leveraging that knowledge to create a life of purpose and fulfillment. By implementing the strategies we've discussed, from creating willpower sanctuaries to forming a willpower tribe, from understanding your neurological rhythms to practicing strategic indulgence, you can transform your relationship with self-control. Remember, the journey to strengthening your willpower is not a linear path. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way. But with each conscious choice, each moment of mindfulness, and each aligned action, you're not just exercising self-control, you're sculpting your ideal self, one decision at a time. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of willpower and self-control. I'm your name, and I challenge you to take one insight from this video and put it into practice today. Your future self will thank you. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you thought was possible.